Hello and welcome to something a little different, I guess. Can sort of call it a vlog, but it'll probably turn into something else. Um, Basically, for those of you who actually follow my website, not just my YouTube channel, you'll know that when I first started doing all this, how many years ago now? 3, 4, something like that. My intention was to do a lot more with this site and channel than just the 3 things that I'm currently doing: the movie reviews, the product placements, and the gameplays. I planned on doing a lot more stuff. Unfortunately, due to finances and moving and living situations, I haven't been able to do anything more than that. But there's always been stuff on the back burner. Like I said, if you go to the website, you'll actually see like a lot of tabs on my menu where you can get an idea of the other stuff I want to do. I just haven't been able to do any of it yet. But one thing I've always wanted to do, other than just movie reviews, was reviews of my DVD collection, which most of that's in storage now, but I have been adding to the collection since I moved. Another thing I always wanted to do in regards to the DVD collection was, as I bought new things, do like a haul video. So like I usually buy a batch of DVDs at a time. Depends on if they're on sale, if it's something I actually really want, when I find it, what else is available when I pick something up. But I've always wanted to kind of, as I buy stuff, do these little haul videos like, hey, check out what I got. Unfortunately, like I said, I got 2 roommates, so usually the stuff is sitting here, I want to do the video, and they're just here and they never leave. And then by the time they do leave, I'm doing other stuff, or I've already put everything away. I don't want to dig it all back out, so my old hauls kind of just disappeared. For a while I was posting photos of everything onto Facebook, which that was my personal Facebook, not really the one for the website. I don't know if I had the Instagram set up at the time. There might be a couple of earlier hauls on the Instagram, but I haven't really kept up with that much either. But yeah, so basically I went shopping the other day and I wanted to do a haul video. So for those of you who don't know, I'm also an avid video game collector, sort of. At one point in my youth I had damn near every North American console known to man, and a few imports. Unfortunately, I sold off the majority of those, and all but my original NES and my Super NES. And a few years ago, when I was making decent money, I started to rebuild my collection. Again, another thing that's stuck in storage, so I can't really do any old retro Let's Plays either, which was another thing I always wanted to do. But the other day I had a little bit extra money, obviously, and I found a retro game store here in town, and I was like, well, let me go in and see what's available, and I ended up picking up an N64, which, I don't know if I can move it, you can see here, N64, which was one of the systems I don't want to say I never owned it, because I did purchase one, and I played it for 2 hours and took it back to the store, got my money back, and bought something else. I think I bought the PlayStation or something else that was out at that time. So I was like, it's been a few years, I'll give it another chance, so I bought one. And then I've been going around to a couple different stores that carry retro games, not necessarily consoles, but games, and trying to find some stuff to play for it. So I do have a small, very small at this point, collection of N64 games. Probably spent way more money on this than I really should have. But I wanted to have a couple options. Unfortunately, the N64 prices are skyrocketing right now compared to when I actually got back into collecting consoles again. My NES collection, as I started buying games that I lost over the years or no longer had or never had, I was getting the majority of the games for a couple bucks a piece at most, and now standard NES cartridges at the game stores around here are anywhere from $7 on up, where I was getting stuff before for under $1 or $2 at most. For example, when I purchased Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde for the NES, I think I paid like $1.49 for it, and I saw a copy of it for sale at the game store where I got all these the other day for $20. And it's like, that game is not worth $20, other than maybe the fact that because the Angry Video Game Nerd keeps talking about it so much that everyone's like, oh, I gotta have it, so now it's kind of become a collector's thing. But anyway, when I was looking around for what retro game stores were in the area, and I found one that was listed, and when I got there, they barely had anything as far as games go, but they were basically a used DVD store. And the day I was there, they were having a sale where just about every DVD in there was $1. So of course I spent quite a bit of money, and that's what I want to talk about in this video today, now that I've rambled for 6 minutes. So this is going to be a DVD haul. No particular order to any of these other than what's sitting in front of me right now. If I don't drop them everywhere. So, first thing I picked up, well, not very first thing, but I was walking through the store and anything that jumped out at me I'd grab, and I had like this, those little baskets that they have at Walmart with the handles. They had those at the door, and I had like 3 or 4 in my hand. I was like, I know I'm going to need one of those baskets, so I went up and grabbed it, and I ended up with the basket full on 2 layers, and the guy was like, I brought it up to kind of the guy's like, are you serious? I'm like, hey, they're $1 each, and this stuff I don't have that I've been meaning to add to my collection. So one of the ones I grabbed was Cowboys and Aliens. Haven't seen it, don't really know anything about it. Heard that it is based in some degree on a comic book, so I've also heard it's kind of a funny movie. So I figured I'd check that one out. It's been on my list for a while. Also, for you Kevin Smith fans out there who know that I appreciate Kevin Smith films, not necessarily a Kevin Smith film, but a View Askew production. This is Vulgar, which was was directed by Brian Johnson, basically Steve Dave from Mallrats, and beard guy on Comic Book Men, if you guys watch Comic Book Men. So he directed this, and I've seen it before. I think I owned it at one point, and not sure what happened to it. A bit of a dark movie, but funny at the same time. If you like the Kevin Smith campus stuff, you'll probably enjoy it. So that's Vulgar. Also picked up a copy of Black Mass 2, City of Mass. A while back I did pick up Black Mask 1 because I'd only ever seen part of it. Didn't actually own it, so I do have a copy of that now, but I didn't buy that for $1. So that's in what would have been one of the old Lost Hall videos. So I got Black Mass 2. So a while back I found a copy of, oh Jesus, what was it? I don't even remember anymore. Let me think for a second. Oh, so a while back I found a copy of Elektra. Now it seems pretty common. I can buy it just about anywhere. But I had posted on Facebook and said, look at the gem I found in I think it was the $5 bin at Walmart. And a friend of mine's like, I don't know if I would necessarily call that a gem, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, the only thing I'm really missing from my collection now is a copy of Catwoman. Well, not anymore. Actually, now that I think about it, all my DVDs in storage, I may actually already own this, but I couldn't remember, so for $1, why not, right? It's better than buying it for $5 at Walmart, which I did see it there a couple times, and I kept avoiding it, but for $1, what the hell? Alright, also picked up, what the hell is all over this? Got hair or something all over it. Also picked up a copy of The Sixth Day. It's an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie about clones. So, some people said this wasn't that good of a movie. I enjoyed it the one time I watched it, so was going to add it to my collection. Well, actually, I think I owned it on VHS, but got rid of most of my VHS collection. So, it was always something I meant to add back to the collection, and now here it is. Although I might have to re-sleeve the case because this thing is looking a little rough. Another thing from my childhood, going way back now, is The Last Starfighter. So anyone who doesn't know The Last Starfighter, check it out. It's an amazing movie. Actually, I don't know if I'd say amazing because it's been so long since I've seen it. But I definitely remember watching it repeatedly when I was a kid. So, yeah, check that out. From the comedy camp, we got Summer School. Probably one of the first movies that actually made me appreciate, like, to a higher degree, horror movies. The character Chainsaw in here, just the way he talks about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and like filmmaking in general is something that always kind of brought me into an interest in film. So yeah, Summer School. Check that out. Also from the comedy camp, best movie ever. No, may not. Ernest Goes to Camp. I was gonna say Ernest Saves Christmas, but no, wasn't a fan of Ernest Saves Christmas. Wasn't really a fan of Ernest Goes to Jail. Walmart has had the multi pack. It's like 4 Ernest movies, like Camp, Jail, Christmas, and Scared Stupid. I think it was the Halloween one where he has to give a troll milk. Unfortunately, out of all those, this was the only one I actually really ever cared for. So paying $5 for the 4 of them versus $1 for just the one that I really like. Well, honestly, the $5 probably would have been the better bet to go, but screw it. It's in my collection now. Because $5, I keep picking it up and like, maybe next time and putting it back. For $1, just get it, right? So, best Ernest movie, in my opinion. Another one that I remember watching when I was younger, probably teenager, but I found hilarious at the time. Don't know if it still holds up or not, but we'll see. Is National Lampoon's Senior Trip. Don't know why I like this movie. It's kind of a stoner comedy, and I'm not real big on stoner comedies. But it was something about this one that always made me laugh. So yeah, pick that up. Also from the Kevin Smith camp, since I skipped over, I did the one earlier. Picked up a copy of Dogma. I believe I actually own a copy of Dogma, but I've been wanting to get this one for a while because it's the special edition, which has like additional scenes in it and whatnot. It's not often that I'll rebuy a movie I already own just for additional like scenes. That's why I haven't transferred most of my DVD collection onto Blu-ray. One, I don't own a Blu-ray player, and two, it's not worth the $30 to get a couple extra features when I can pick them up for like $5 or whatever. So I did pick up Dogma, the extended edition or special edition, which I think I have the standard edition, but now I have both. So that's one thing from the Kevin Smith camp. Another thing I picked up was a 2-disc collection of Clerks, the animated series. Only 6 episodes, unfortunately. That's all that was ever produced. They said they had, as I was listening to the commentary on this one the other day, they were saying that they did have outlines for like additional episodes they wanted to do, but never got around to, and that they were still trying to find another way of producing and releasing Clerks, the animated series. So we might see another one eventually. But that was, what year was this put out? I don't see the year on it, but it's probably been quite a while since this came out. Yeah, so that's probably something that's on a back burner somewhere or has been just forgotten about. I don't think they've mentioned it since then. Alright, another one I got, again, from one of my movies that I enjoyed as a kid that kind of, for some reason, certain movies like I really latched onto and shaped my life. Breakfast Club being one. Better Off Dead with John Cusack, another one. And probably the third on that list would be this film. And Summer School with the direction of movies that I said earlier. This would probably be third or fourth on that list, and that is Pump Up the Volume with Christian Slater. Uh, I actually showed this movie to a friend of mine one time when, believe it or not, when I first started getting into this, we were involved in radio. And I was like, have you ever seen Pump Up the Volume? He's like, no. I was like, well, check it out. So he checked it out, and he's like, was that supposed to be some type of joke? And so I assumed that meant he didn't really like the movie, but I liked it. I don't know why I liked it. It's just one of those films of the time that's, he was like a couple years younger than me, so maybe he was just of a wrong generation to have enjoyed it. But one of those tear movies in my life where, not that it made me cry tear, but, like, films that'll shape your life and, like, make you aspire to do certain things. This is one of those handful.